Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're back for another video. This one is the Q&A video, the answers to your questions. As I always do, I don't prepare this because I wanted to give it to you out of the heart, and I wanted to apologize for the delayment, but I had a very busy with, as you know, as you follow my channel, you know that I do certain reactions to certain shows, and I was busy with that work. So this is why it's just coming out right now. So let's go and do this Q&A, because I could wait longer, but what does it matter? Okay, let's find the questions for this Q&A. First, of course, I want to thank you guys for participating in this Q&A as well as giveaway. And thank you for being loyal to my channel, supportive over the, I think it's 2 years right now that I'm doing this channel. Crazy the amount of people that were following from that time. There's still a lot of people from when I just started that are still on my channel and have contacts with, even more contacts than only in the comments. And it's always so nice to see your guys' comments coming through my comment section and think, I know that person. And it's always fun. Sometimes I annoy people, sometimes I make people hate me, but that's just who I am, you know. I am who I am. I'm just myself, and doing it like I like to do it. And some people don't like it, and people like it, or people don't like it and still come back because they get a certain feeling with what I do.
A few moments later.
So I'm glad for you guys supporting my channel, and already at 4K, and I just want to say right now, let's go to that road to 8K, and then from there on to 16, then 32, 64, 128, and let's get that golden play, that silver play button. Probably it's gonna take me like 4 or 5 more years, but that's okay, right? I mean, it's not a contest, and it's not all about subscribers or views. It's just about bringing good content that you guys like, that you guys like to watch, and I think that's what it's all about. And making friends and acquaintances, and talk with people you normally don't talk with, because for you guys, what I do is I watch reactions myself, so I know what it is. It's just to get recognition for your own reaction with someone else. And sometimes it's not the same as your reaction, but that makes it more interesting to see another person react to a certain thing. And that's why I started doing this. Okay, a lot of talk. Let's just go do the Q&A. All right, first question from Robin. He's a fellow Dutchman. Do you have any phobias? And if you could clone yourself, what would you do? Actually, that is a very good question. When I saw that question coming in, I was like, okay, that's a very good question. That's a certain one that I really like to answer. Okay, do I have any phobias? Yes, I do. And you might be surprised about that, but I have I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of growing older and eventually die, because there's nothing more uncertain and unknown than dying, in my opinion at least. There are a lot of people who can say what happens when you die, because they had a near-death experience, or they were dead for clinically dead for some time and came back to life or whatever, and they say they saw flashes, or seeing their life flash in front of their eyes and stuff like that. But I don't think someone can actually say what they experience when they die, if they really die. But they cannot say anymore what happens then, because they're dead. They cannot talk anymore. And until you're dead, you're not able to you're not able to say how it feels and what you feel and what you see when you're dying. So getting older and dying for me is a scary thing. So that's one of the scariest things that I have. There's another thing, but you might surprise that I have it, and it's spiders. Spiders is a phobia, but not really because I don't like spiders. Because I could touch a spider or have a spider on my hand or whatever. It's that's not really the problem. But the problem is with spiders is that one moment you see them and one moment you don't. And that moment when you don't see the spider anymore, that's the moment where I freak out. So when you're lying in bed, watching on your phone or whatever, at some point you look at the ceiling and you see a spider. At that moment, I'm gonna think, okay, nice to have that spider over there. No problems with it, and very awesome to see it. I might even be amazed by how big the spider is or whatever. But at a certain moment, you go back to what you're doing. For example, looking at your phone or your laptop or your TV, and you look up again, and the spider's gone. Where the fuck did it go? Where the fuck did it go? Spiders are, yeah, it's just crazy. Is it on your head? Is it on your bed? Or is it just in a corner where you can see it? Or did it just crawl anywhere? So yeah, spiders definitely is something that, or actually not seeing the spider anymore is actually one of my phobias as well. So yeah, dying or growing older, and spiders, or actually not seeing the spider anymore where it is. That is my answer to your question, to one of your questions. And if I could clone myself, what would I do? Good question as well, Robin. If you mean that if I could do anything with my clone, wow, good question. Very good question. I mean, maybe I should have prepared that one. Prepared an answer for that one. If my clone would have infinite money and all that, if it doesn't have to eat and it doesn't have to sleep, it's hard because if I would have a clone, it would look like me. So if my clone would do something stupid, they eventually would come out. They would come out looking for me, you know. So I would pay the price anyway. Good question. Good question. If I could do things and get away with it unpunished and stuff like that, I would enjoy life more than I would be possible right now, because we have to work. Of course, we have to earn money to live, and it would not have to be needed if the clone could do anything it want. So my clone could just work, or I could travel the world myself while my clone was doing all my work. And yeah, that would be something. Like I said, people in general are at this moment are really consumed by having to do all these things, working, living, family, worry about living healthy and stuff like that. And if you would have a clone, it would do everything for you, and you could do anything you want, basically. So yeah, I think I would enjoy life more, and maybe do things I would never have done before, because it would be possible, because my clone would do anything for me. It's a good question. I really like that one. But basically, if I would answer it, I would enjoy life more than is possible at this moment. So thank you for sending in the questions, and I hope my answer was fulfilling. It was a long answer, but that's just how I just rambling sometimes. And let's just go on to the second question. It's a very long one from Sora Miano. If you haven't checked her out, she does reactions to, well, a lot of shows. Maybe you like one of them and you like the way she reacts, then definitely go check out her channel. Like I said, it's a long one. I have to read it. It's a question about Outlander. What are your thoughts on how Outlander approached the Scotland history? If you like the Scotland history thanks to Outlander, what are your thoughts on the Battle of Culloden? Do you agree with everything they went through to defend their Bonnie Prince in going against the crown? You didn't ask, but I totally agree. Although they lost, I feel like they were being forced to follow laws that they didn't even like. Also, it was their land and the crown wasn't just like, nope, this is mine. That's not fair. If I'm asking the wrong question and saying the wrong stuff. There's never a question that is a dumb question. Every question could be valuable and could be informative. But as well as you are, I am not really informed about Scotland history, but if I'm reading into it correctly, I have been saying this a couple times over in my reaction that we see that right now as well with other countries where America is invading because they felt the need to do so, or because they attacked America and they felt the need to change the culture and ways of a country. I think it is never good to change and go somewhere into a country where you don't belong. To basically own it and change it into how you want, because it's never going to happen. And I think that's what happened with the Highlander culture, as in Scotland. I think any country should be able to be independent and should be able to work out their independency on their own without influence or pushed influence from outside. So I don't know much about the Battle of Culloden yet, as I'm not that far yet into Outlander. Do I justify the ways that the Scottish people went to defend that matter? Well, it's vice versa, at least in what we see in Outlander. I mean, the English weren't exactly very friendly to the Scottish as well, so it's a vice versa thing. Sometimes you have to do certain things to defend your country, what maybe not is the best way to do, especially when an invader is even more aggressive. I think at least you should meet the eye in your methods. Violence is never good, of course, but I would say that I think I would admire I've never visited Scotland before, so I'm not really sure with their ways right now and the culture, of course. But watching Outlander, seeing how the Scottish were then, it would intrigue me to go as well. I'm not very sure if I answered your question to your satisfaction in this, and that's maybe because I don't know the ins and outs on the Scottish history, and I'm not that far in Outlander yet to have seen it, and maybe I don't even keep myself a lot to history in in Outlander, at least. I mean, I enjoy the culture I see and the way of doing it, and I'm not a real political guy. Mostly when it comes to politics or power struggles or whatever. And as well as with religion, I rather not go into that discussion, because the most discussions I had about politics and religion did not really end up very friendly, because there will always be indifferences that you might not like. I'm not a believer. I'm a heathen. Heathen! To a certain kind of people. So with fanatics, I would always get into a disagreement if I would get into religion. And I think that's in the same thing with politics. Politics is a world apart, and you got to be born into it to understand and want to play that game. For example, I would never help myself in a world like Game of Thrones, where I would be a higher up person. I would never be able to help myself up like Ned Stark. I would not be able to lie, conceive, and deceive for personal gain or realms gain or whatever. Like I said, I'm not really sure if I answered your question to your satisfaction, but I don't think I know enough to talk about the Scottish history and how it is portrayed in Outlander. Okay, next question. Omar Elatar, another one who is here on my channel for a long time. So that's what I was talking about before. Nice to have you on the comment section again, Omar, and thanks for sending in a question. Who is your favorite TV character of all time? Well, that's pretty simple actually. That is Tony Soprano. Before Sopranos, I wasn't really watching TV. I was watching TV, but I was not into a TV show like I am now with Game of Thrones or with Sopranos or Vikings or whatever. I've watched Two and a Half Men and The Big Bang Theory and Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds I was into pretty much, but it wasn't really a show for me to get into characters. So I really liked the show, but I didn't really like a character for such. I have grown to learn more great characters over time, like Ragnar Lothbrok, Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen. I could name up a lot of Game of Thrones actors who were really like Davos, but I think that the most favorite TV character of all time would be Tony Soprano, and Jon Snow. Yeah, maybe position 1 would be Tony Soprano, position 2 would be Jon Snow. Jon Snow! And I think 3 would be Ragnar Lothbrok together with Jon Snow. Tony Soprano. What can I say about Tony Soprano? Tony Soprano was played by James Gandolfini, one of the greatest and most humble actors I have ever seen in TV world. It sucks that he had to leave this world at a pretty young age. In a moment, he was very fragile. I think. I mean, he wasn't the most healthiest kind of guys, and I think that is what eventually got him killed. And I remember that I was very emotional about that, because I was really into the Sopranos at the moment. I had just watched the last season, and I'm not gonna spoil about how Sopranos end, but it was even worse, even worse kind of feeling than when you go into a cliffhanger, because it was the last season. There wasn't gonna come more, and it was very confusing, and there was always hopes that David Chase would make a movie about the Sopranos as a following, or maybe would pick up again on writing for the Sopranos. But when James Gandolfini died, all hope for me on a spin-off or a movie or whatever was gone. At least in that form, as I know now that they are probably gonna make a spin-off about the Sopranos, but more looking at the history before Tony Soprano, so the history of his father. I think he is my favorite TV show character of all time, and he was complex. He was a bad guy. He was a father. He was a good guy in some ways. He was very complex, and he had a lot. maybe as well as in Spartacus, Quintus Badiatus. Yeah, he's complex as well. So I hope that that answered your question. Talking about James Gandolfini, even still now, sucks. It really sucks. Maybe you should, if you're interested in The Sopranos or in the Soprano history, then and you have seen The Sopranos, then just look up some interviews about James Gandolfini from Edie Falco or the guy who played Paulie Walnuts. Forgot his name. And the guy Tony Sriccio was it, I think, who played Paulie Walnuts, and as well the actor who played Junior Soprano. Just look up interviews of them about James Gandolfini and just listen to how they talk about a personality like that, humble and always willing to help and stuff like that. If you're interested in it, just look it up, and it will really give you a good view on who he was and how good he was and stuff like that. And if you haven't seen The Sopranos, I highly recommend to watch it. I highly recommend you to watch it. It sucks that I already seen it, so I can't react to it. But if you want to see reactions to The Sopranos, then go to American Mom, who did her reactions to the complete series, and it was hilarious. It was really hilarious to see it. It was really good to watch it back. Thank you for putting up this question, a good one as well, and a question with some feelings. Yeah, definitely. Kimberly Scheper. I said it in Dutch, but you're from America, from what I remember, or at least not from Holland. And your question. I think we talked about this before, but I'll ask anyway. Have you seen Lost? And up to this point, who are your favorite male and female television characters? All right. No, I haven't seen Lost yet, but lately I've been thinking about expanding my TV interesting views, and when it is possible again to choose a new show to react to, Lost will definitely be one who will be in the poll with a couple of other shows that I might be interested in, and a lot of people are interested in as well. So yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll definitely will put it up in a poll, and we'll look at how many people want me to watch the show. So yeah, it's definitely on my interested list. Your second question is my most favorite female and male character on television. Well, I just had this whole monologue about Tony Soprano and James Gandolfini as an actor who played it. So I think I answered that question pretty much. For a female television character, that is a big one. That is a really big one, because before it was always Lagertha. But now that I've seen Game of Thrones and seen Spartacus, or at least watching Spartacus, it has changed my point of view a little bit. I mean, we have in Game of Thrones, we have Sansa, we have Arya, Brienne. There's a lot of good TV characters, and even though I don't even like fucking Cersei as a TV character, she is very good, complex as well. She, in my opinion, she's a bad woman, but she's a mother as well, and she always wanted to have the best things for her kids. But she's never gonna get close to my top 5 even of best TV characters. I think Lagertha and maybe as well Arya and Daenerys will be on that same list. But I think if I look back to what I had with Vikings, I think I can definitely say Lagertha is on position 1. Whew. A lot of dialogue, about things, but I like it. So Kimberly Skipper, I hope I answered your question to your satisfaction. Good question as well. Next question. If you held a poll for new shows to react to in the future, would you ever consider adding Breaking Bad to it? Also, if you had the opportunity to interview an actor or actress from a series or a movie you enjoyed, whom would it be and why? The first part of your question, Mon Petit Chéri, I didn't know if I said your name, but it doesn't even fucking matter. I just said it. If I would held a poll for new shows, well, Breaking Bad would definitely be on it. A lot of people are watching it at the moment, and I've heard the history about Breaking Bad on YouTube, and it wasn't good because a lot of people got copyright strikes and even lost their channel, maybe period, or for a longer time because they were reacting to Breaking Bad. But YouTube is handling things different now to watch Breaking Bad, but knowing the history of YouTube, it will be bad. So I would not risk my channel to watch Breaking Bad, but like I do with Spartacus and Outlander at this moment, I post them on an ulterior site, ulterior source on Patreon, so not on YouTube. And I think that will work. I think it's a very interesting show to watch. As I see thumbnails coming by and stuff like that, I try not to look at it in it as much because I don't want to get spoiled. But it would definitely be on a poll, and to answer maybe other questions about which shows would be more in that poll. Definitely in that poll would be Lost, The 100, Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy. Even though I already watched, I think, the first 2 episodes, but it's so far back that I can't remember it anymore. So Lost, The 100, Breaking Bad. Which one did I say more? Sons of Anarchy. Penny Dreadful, I'm still interested in. And maybe a couple more shows that I might try out. Mainly because I need to venture out to new genres and new shows, and with the Game of Thrones ending and Vikings ending, I think it's time to breach my horizon and just watch more than already. So yeah, Breaking Bad would definitely be on the list to watch, but not to post it on YouTube as like I do with Spartacus and Outlander. I would post it through a different source on Patreon. But it doesn't matter, of course, because you just can go to Patreon and don't have to be subscribed to it for a certain kind of amount of money. You just could watch it as I put it on public. If you had the opportunity to interview any actor or actress from a series or movie you enjoyed, when would it be? That's a hard one because I got a lot of actors that I would like to interview, and not maybe because of a show, or maybe because they're just so interesting. I just had that complete dialogue about James Gandolfini, who, if it would be possible, I would definitely have interviewed him. But yeah, he's dead. Also, another one who I would like to have interviewed if he would still be alive was Bruce Lee. Love his fucking movies a lot. Watched it so many times. Sucks we had to lose him at such a young age as well. But yeah, I would definitely interview him. Jon Snow, of course. I would definitely interview Kit Harington about his role as Jon Snow, because I haven't seen much other shows where he's in. I would definitely interview Catherine Winnick, even though it was only because she is a gorgeous freaking woman, especially on her age. She's not that old yet, but for that age, people could look a lot worse. I would definitely interview her for her role in Vikings, as well as as Travis Fimmel for his role as Ragnar Lothbrok. That man is a genius as well, almost looking like James Gandolfini was, humble, not a big showman. There's actually a lot of people that I want to interview that are already dead. I mean, I would, if he was still alive, interview Brian O'Connor for his role as Paul Walker in the Fast and the Furious. Super interesting character, super interesting actor as well. And he has meant so much for me, but a lot of other people as well. In the 10-year history that he has with Fast and Furious. Vin Diesel, for many movies he has done, I just really like that man. He's just a great actor. Well, there are so many actors and actresses I would want to interview. I mean, Al Pacino, De Niro, a lot of dead people in the list. Marlon Brando. Like I said, a lot of dead people who would I want to interview that it's not possible anymore. But if I would have to choose a character who is alive right now at this moment, I would choose between Kit Harington, Travis Fimmel, Catherine Winnick, and Emily Clark and Catherine Winnick, mainly because they're so freaking beautiful, and they're funny people as well. So Kit Harington because he's just an interesting character, interesting actor in Game of Thrones, and Travis Fimmel as well because I've never actually seen other shows with him. Well, he's from what I know, he's in Sons of Anarchy. But like I said, I haven't watched that show pretty much further than episode 2. So yeah, I hope that answered your questions to your satisfaction. Always nice to see you in my comment section as a loyal subscriber and as well patron and someone who I talk to personally beside in the comment section as well as other people as well. Omar Elatar, will you react to season 2 trailer of Nightfall? Yes, I will, but I wanted to do it this week, and I'm probably as well gonna react to Nightfall season 2 if I find a certain spot in my schedule where I can put it in. But there's a lot of goods coming this year, so I will definitely react to the trailer. But if I don't get to it this weekend, I'm very sorry, but I'll try to get it then next week because I really enjoyed the first season of Nightfall, even though MGM and I think it was A&E as well. They really made it hard to react to the show because they were copyrighted claiming and stuff like that. My reactions all the time. So yeah, I will definitely watch the trailer, and I heard it would come out somewhere around the 20th of March. So I have a little bit of time to react to it before the season starts. I will definitely watch it. Yeah. Jesus. Hi Jesus, how are you? One of my loyalists. Is that a good word? I think it is. Patrons and subscribers. One of my oldest subscribers and patrons. Definitely the first patron that I had, who is the most loyal that I can remember, and he's not very much in my comments, but he supports me. And sometimes I don't even know why, because I don't know anything about you, Jesus. Let's just swap out email addresses or whatever. I'm really curious for who you are, and I mean you know a lot about me, and knowing that you support my channel and me on Patreon as well as on YouTube is super awesome. But sometimes I wish I would know the person behind the donations and the support. So yeah, if you're hearing this, I'm not sure if you watch it because I never know if you watch it because you're not much in my comment section. If you're reading it, then just go to Twitter or just send me an email in the description. There's my email with your Twitter handle or your email address, and maybe you could swap some stories and stuff like that. So I really want to know more about you, being one of my truest and loyal supporters. Your question is actually the same as the last Q&As. How is life part 3? That is as well the last question of the Q&A. That's why I saved it till the last, because it could be a very complex as well as a very long answer. How is life? How is life at the moment? Life is treating me. It could get worse. It could be a lot worse. At the moment, I just had a interview for a new job, and I'm not sure if colleagues are watching this video, but I guess not. So they do. So I would not spoil something for them, but I had an interview for a new job. I'm already looking for a longer time to do something else as work. I definitely outgrew the thing I do now, and I'm ready to do more. And so I just had an interview. I have a 60-40% feeling that I would go through to the next round of interviews. So that's pretty good. Still living together with my girlfriend is going very well. We are renovating at the moment. It's a strange thing. Whenever we renovate, it takes a long time, or it just goes in one day. So the room of my daughter, we did it in half a day. We painted. We did new colors on the wall, wallpaper. Everything we did was just in half a day time. So with us, it's always running sky high or very slow. These renovations we're gonna do the whole house, with the creme de la creme will be next year, and we'll be renovating in one room into 2 rooms, where I got my own filming room and man cave, to be exact. So I will not have to be sharing my filming location anymore with my daughter. She will get a new room as well. So there are definitely gonna come really cool and good things for me on that part of the story of my life, and so that's very fine. My daughter is always it's always a complex story with my ex-wife. At the moment, things could be a lot better. I'm not gonna go into details much about that, but let me just say that things at this moment could be a lot better for her, as well as the complete situation over there. And yeah, I hope that changes in not a very long time, as it would not be good for her. So yeah, life in general is doing pretty good. Finances are pretty well. My channel is doing very good. I'm really happy with that. Just hit 4,000 subscribers because it's obvious because I'm doing this video. Made some new friends, bought some new things. Went to the Game of Thrones exhibition. If you want to see the video about that, somewhere in the albums, just look it up. It was really cool to see all these stuff about Game of Thrones. I bought a cosplay costume. Game of Thrones is coming back, so yeah, a couple of things could be better, but hey, couldn't it always be better for some things to happen in your life? I mean, it's best to not always live your life to the max, they have everything good as well, because you don't have dreams and ambitions anymore if everything is already perfect. So it's a life motto actually. Don't lead a perfect life. Just always have something to pursue, and have some dreams, ambitions, because it would get boring if you have everything you had. If you had like millions of money, your life would be like perfect, but not perfect as well, because yeah, in my opinion, you would always have to have something to live up to and dream to, and stuff like that. So like I said, can my life be better? Yeah, it can, but I'd rather have it imperfect, and having the things to dream for, and having my ambitions. For me, it's the best thing to have. So yeah, that's about my life at the moment, in a very small nutshell. All right, guys. So this concludes the Q&A. It's like a 40 minutes long video. I have to edit out a couple of things, so maybe I will come to a 30 minutes video, and it's a lot of edit work. So thank you for sending in your questions. I'm really happy for them. Some were more difficult to answer, some were really fast to answer, but I must say that I really enjoyed those questions and answering them, and I'm really happy with your support as subscribers, as friends, as acquaintances, as what you are, and I could not wish for the better, for better and more than I already have right now. I'm humbled to have you guys. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed me answering your questions, and just don't be a stranger. If you got more questions, just let me know. I'm always happy to answer, and I'm always happy to get in a discussion if it's fair and if it's nice. And yeah, like I said, don't be a stranger. You know my Twitter, you know my email address. I'm always happy to talk about anything. So yeah, this concludes my Q&A video. I want to thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll definitely see you back for the next reaction video. Ciao.